here at Malta for AIBC Europe, and with me is Alexiei Dingli, Professor of Artificial Intelligence at the University of Malta. Professor Dingli, thank you so much for being here.
Welcome. Thank you, Jenny, for the invite.
So now we're here at the AIBC Europe in Malta. First, I want to ask you, what can you say about the event?
Okay, I think it's a fantastic event. I think it's one of a kind, to see all these people mingling together. I think it's a big opportunity for everyone, not just for the local indigenous community. And there's a lot going on in Malta, especially when it comes to AI, but also, the links with also international players. And I think that is the strength of the event, and that's why it's been growing year after year. Thank God, because it creates this linkages, which otherwise would be very hard to create.
Yes, now, Professor, you mentioned to me earlier that you've been with the University of Malta for 18 years now, and you've been teaching AI. How has this, in terms of academics, in the academe, how do you think has the academe adapted to AI?
Okay, so I think, as I said earlier, I actually was a student of the university in AI as well back then, maybe in a time when, AI wasn't really popular or sexy as well. So sometimes I felt like I was like the lonely voice in the desert, saying that this is coming and finally it's here. So I've seen the progression from, early adopters up till today when everyone is super excited about, what they can do with AI. When it comes to academia, we've also seen an evolution of the course. Originally, we had only an undergraduate degree. Now we offer both the master's and also the PhD as well. So you see, we're offering something which is super flexible to try to reach as many people as possible, because we understand that AI, it's a horizontal field of study. So, irrespective of what you're doing, you'll probably use some sort of AI in the future. So we would like to give those tools to these people so that they can then apply it to their own field of study. And in fact, even if you look at our masters, it's a very flexible master. You can do it one module at a time, or a full master at a go, or even an internship with the company where you work on, so that even the employer will start benefiting from the advancements in AI. So that is the master, and then of course the PhD. The PhD is for more advanced projects, and that is important because it creates these long-lasting links with industry that bring real change to industry.
Now, Professor, AI, as you mentioned, it's here and now, and it's impacting different industries. It's impacting, gaming, it's impacting healthcare.
Everything.
Everything. What can you say about the rate of adoption?
Well, I think there's a lot of interest at the moment, so, there's a lot of excitement. But what tends to happen is that a lot of people then sort of fall short when it comes to the actual implementation, because they say, but from where do I start? Remember, AI is not just one technology. I like to define it as a spectrum of different technologies. So you find the not so intelligent part of AI, these maybe tiny robots that open and close curtains, up to this super intelligent kind of AI, which like self-driving cars, They're super complex. So people get a little bit lost about how to go about doing it. And my personal advice to these companies is always, listen, you shouldn't go for AI simply because, it's the fad of the moment. You should go for it if it gives you some real tangible value, some real advantages. And what I tend to advise these companies is that they should look at their pain points. Because the pain points are those elements of their processes, their organization. That's probably they're either losing money, taking a lot of time, using a lot of resources. And I would imagine that for many of them, not for all of them, but for most of them, AI can offer a solution, or at least a partial solution. Because, if you get 60% of nothing, is much better than nothing, no? So that is what I think they should focus, identify their pain points, and then see how AI can help them. It doesn't mean that AI will solve all the problems, and, I'm not advocating that, but I truly believe that it can solve a lot of the problems which they currently have.
Those are really great advice. It's industries or companies not really jumping into it right away, but really thinking about if they really need it or what specific technology that
they have to be mindful about it. Because, the easy thing out is, we use some AI sort of, I like to say it like pixie dust, no? You sprinkle pixie dust and you say it's an AI. It doesn't work like that. I mean, if the AI doesn't give you the true benefits, then just don't use it.
Another thing about AI, Professor, is that for some people, when they hear AI, it becomes a threat for them, maybe for their job. What can you say about that?
AI has a lot of opportunity, but you're right. it can be a threat for some. And we've already been seeing this. Let me relate to you a personal experience I had a few weeks ago. So I was visiting a manufacturing company. I had a meeting with the management of the organization. They were super excited because, we're talking about this robotic hand that uses AI to perform various tasks. It's very flexible. It's also super low cost. So we're talking about 3,000, 5,000 euros. So it's nothing. And remember, this hand doesn't tire, doesn't go on holiday. It's constantly working. So you can understand the excitement of management. But after that meeting, they introduced me to a young lady who works on the production plant, and she took me around so that I understand better their processes. And whilst I was there, I was thinking, the technology I came to present here will one day take over the job of this young lady. And these are real threats. Now, of course, I'm not saying this because, I'm not worried about these things. But we should start helping these people from now. So, what will happen to this person? Can we upskill her, reskill her to maybe go to other positions? Because that is the transition we need to go through. And I feel that, sometimes we are acting too slowly in this transformation of the individual. Because if we don't do that, then, of course, we will arrive one fine day where AI will be, mass introduced into manufacturing or other areas, and these people will not have a job. So let's start from now to help these people to do the transition. And remember, this is a real transition. We've been monitoring it for quite a number of years now, especially in the East. We've been seeing these companies, this manufacturing called dark manufacturing. And they're called dark because they don't use lights, because they're full of robots. They don't need lights to see. So the transition is from the low-skilled, low-paid, the manual workers, to the high-skilled, high-paid, because you need engineers to take care of the robots. So this is the shift which we make to do, and we need to prepare from today.
That's true, and AI is here. It's not going to go away. And so every industries have to prepare, as you've mentioned. Now, I want to touch on regulatory. I'm from the Philippines, and our government, for example, are now looking into AI and how they can integrate it. For example, in the Supreme Court, in the courts, how they can use AI to help with, the processes. At your observation for different countries' jurisdictions, how are they also adopting AI in government processes?
Very interesting question, because as you know, in Europe, we have the AI Act now. So it regulates AI all over the continent. Now, personally, I'm not against regulation because I can understand why these acts have been put in place. No, they're there practically to safeguard the citizens, the people that are impacted by the AI. But I think it's very important to strike the balance, because if there's no regulations, most probably some of our citizens will finish to pay the price. Let me give you an example. You mentioned the High Court. In the United States, they have a system called Compass. Okay, and it's an automated system that decides whether a prisoner should be given parole or not. But what happened over there? Some people realized that the system was deciding whether a person should be given parole or not, based, for example, on the color of his skin, or on the upbringing or the neighborhood where he's situated. Which, it's the wrong way of dealing with things, because you should look at the person whether he really reformed himself when he was in prison. Now, in this case, since this is a private company, of course, it's difficult to challenge it, because if you ask them, listen, but how is the AI deciding? They tell you this is a commercial secret, we can't disclose it. So you see over there, the commercial aspect is trumping over the individual aspect, which I think shouldn't be the case. On the other hand, if you look at what's happening in Europe at the moment, there's quite a number of aversion towards introducing AI tools in Europe. So, for example, recently, Meta, the Facebook company, declared that one of their most powerful AI models will not be released in Europe because of the AI Act. If you look at Apple, they did not release Apple Intelligence in Europe because of AI legislations. So we're missing out then. And that's why I'm saying, listen, it's good to have legislation because it protects the citizen, but let's go for a balanced regulation which protects the citizen but doesn't strive innovation.
So many things to talk about AI. It really is impacting it's impacting all of our lives now, the way we live, right?
Indeed.
Professor, my final question, what's your message for those, still hesitant about this technology, and for sure it will, impact us in the years to come?
Yes. No, my message is that, listen, AI is like a wave, no? When you're in the sea and this wave comes over, you can't stop the waves, no? You have to embrace them, and if possible, we ride the waves, no? So that's what we should do. Of course, it's not easy, no? If I'm in the sea and I'm not a surfer, which I'm not, it's difficult for me to ride the wave. But I think we need to do that extra effort now, because one of the things I'm certain is that we will pass through a lot of changes in the coming years. So let's start preparing from now for these changes, so that rather than swimming in the sea, we will ride the wave of AI.
Professor Dingli of University of Malta, thank you so much for your insights and your time. Really appreciate it.